Hi everybody, it's Chris here. Welcome to the last video of 2017 here on the Nightlife show. And this is going to be a two-parter video, and we're going to do is we're going to go back and look, probably we'll start off with just a look back at 2017. Well, we're going to start off with just January for a second, and I didn't do any videos like that in quite some time. I was very busy. I know I have not making any videos, and since I'm a busy person, I was trying to make more stuff. And of course, there's a couple of things. I didn't do anything in January, and around that time, I think we have a highlight from the past videos we've been doing on this channel. So let's take a look at reviewing what was going on YouTube these days. Since January has been one of the most climactic year in YouTube history. We know it's a lot of these stuff. If these go back to January, and I have to say this for no reason. I have done a lot of big work on this thing. So first we'll give you the highlights and the lowlights of the video that I actually that I mentioned in January or February. We'll give you a little bit of highlights here. In January, I think this video will be talking about my highlight of the career. I've been doing this stuff for quite some time now, since back in the spring or early fall, and of course, I've been back on GoAnimate for the first time in like a year, and of course, I've been using the standard GoAnimate account. Of course, I've been using that for about a couple of months now. And of course, after getting what they call Go Publish, has been using a monthly fee for like $39 every month, because I can't go out and waste my money in getting these gift cards or Visa gift cards, whatever. I had to waste a lot of money on this thing. So I decided it's not really a good thing to get the Go Publish thing on GoAnimate. So, and I took a break for a couple of months now. I think for a couple of month break. And of course, after using free trial stuff and the whole thing with multiple accounts, I decided to go to do GoAnimate for Schools. Of course, the schools of GoAnimate for Schools, if you probably know, it gives you like probably $79 a month, and it works. Yes, it does work for about $79 a month because of what they call it. GoAnimate for Schools is way better than Go Publish, the regular GoAnimate accounts. And speaking of GoAnimate, I know there's a video, he mentioned Canadian Scout and others mentioned in the video that he's talking about a new video maker, which is making its way to the new GoAnimate, the original GoAnimate, the new video maker. Yeah, because some people liked it, or some people, or maybe a lot of people are going to hate them because of the features, the new themes, and the whole thing. The new video maker is trying to make an improvement. And of course, a lot of people thought there was partially a rumor that that Comedy World is just no longer active on the new video maker, but I don't know why. What's going to happen in the future of what the non-existing themes would think. It's maybe if it's going to be for the future, but I think I don't know what's going to be in the future of GoAnimate and what the new video maker is supposed to look, but I don't know what is happening because I read in the blog. GoAnimate has been probably very well done. It's okay. It's not bad for using this stuff to make your own videos and the whole thing. Back when they made fun videos, and actually GoAnimate is now like some sort of a business kind of thing. But I just have to say this I enjoyed GoAnimate, but don't worry, it's not going to go anywhere. But I always enjoyed other both non-existing and new themes like business friendly. I have not used business friendly themes in quite a long time now, and once if Comedy World gets not working, they'll have to switch over to business friendly once it's happening. But don't worry, I know there was some people who thought the new video maker is going to end up in the GoAnimate for Schools site. I don't see it happening, not anytime soon, but I was talking about it here. But anyways, for about 2017. I first got this video, or when I'm just trying to make. There's also a couple of other videos I was talking about in this. I also started to make going back to what was then called Music Radio 77 Shorts. And yeah, and it took a life of its own. Of course, and then by now since March, I made a video, and yeah, when they renamed it itself as MTN, yeah, but there was one thing about this. Since April or May, whatever, after so many, kind of like suits against what the WABC tribute website, musicradio77.com, was referring to. But yeah, after so many lawsuits or anything, were they trying to sue them because of the username and the whole thing, I decided to rename it as MTN. Of course, yeah, because MTN is actually the initials, what they stands for, Music Radio 77 Television Network, and whatever I call it, that name. Oh, it's running out of rail right now, so hold on a second. Okay, sorry for about, I was trying to stop the tape right now because that's the reel-to-reel machine that I recently got this since October. We'll have more on that later. There's a couple of things I think about the new MTN. I think MTN is very much better, and I had to post a lot of these stuff. They're much of the same. I've been doing 4 o'clock game playthroughs in quite some time now after I was doing this thing, so I was very busy. I know it is hard to make a videos or something, make some own series and the whole thing. So I went on to do more Go Animate stuff like that. And there's a user, I think, I always enjoy them. His name is Kyle. You know, I have a shout out to him. You know, Kyle's a big fan of making videos. Like, he used to do the Rangel tunes, but now he doesn't do them anymore. I think, yeah, he stopped making them until after, like, October or so. And, you know, Kyle's a big user on YouTube. He's a well done user, but I know some people thought I thought a lot of people thought he hated Kyle, but don't worry, Kyle's a good person, so I'll give a shout out to him. And also a shout out to Mitchie Beatson, that's one of our buddies on YouTube, and he also made a lot of these great stuff. So I thought it's a good idea to parody these other based on remade some of the stuff using the musical cues. There was all these like the music cues that were all like some of the old public domain cartoons in there. So I decided to put video game music. I don't have any, it's for the music, but I don't have any options. So when I did it for the series, when I was doing the MTN shorts, when I did for most of the videos or most of my run, I was the main character in the animated version. It's just a main character, along with the other characters that like Shirley Temple, the character, the one who usually died back in 2014. I thought some people thought the one who was no longer with them. Because they added a most character on this list, and of course a new character added was Bojangles. Yeah, you see him regularly on all the series because, this is way better than Eric Medina and Elizabeth Quintina. You've seen him in one of these videos. So, and that's because Bojangles and Shirley Temple are much popular than Eric and Liz. So, there you go. I think it's like a comparison to the MTN's version of Liz and Eric. It would be Bojangles and Shirley. And the voice I used for this video, I think, for what I was using was a cappella group, because Go Animate does not actually have a cappella groups voices, so I just did record the voices and using that, and then upload them, and using her voice, as Shirley Temple's character. And the voice I think I like is Ella. Ella is she sounds like a waifu or something. Yeah, she sounds like a waifu or something. A lot of these, some people thought it was a waifu or whatever that is. It sounds like waifus used in anime. Well, that's right. You could see her in a lot of the series of videos I just made, and you have to check them out. And a couple of recent finds I had back in 2017. I've recently acquired this. If you saw my demonstration video and my unboxing video, I actually got this one. It's actually the Sony the Sony SQ decoder model SQD 1000. This is one of the very first quadraphonic systems that Sony offered it in 1972. It will able to decode 4 channels and 2 channels. You have 4 channels and the whole thing. No additional equipment required. And in addition, I also picked up the Electro Voice Stereo 4, which is the EV. I forgot the model number is. This is the EVX4 decoder, which is an additional decoder, which decodes 4-channel stereo, which is called Stereo 4, which was the precursor to the quadraphonic sound, since it introduced in 1970. So I think both of these work great because, and of course, I recently acquired it, was the Kinter mini amplifier, which will be used for the rear amplifier. That was also used for this video. And especially for this demonstration, so I give a test run of 4 speakers. Yeah, you get 4 channels or something. If you switch to 4 channels, it will be hooked up, set up through an equipment like maybe a cable box. It will connect to the cable box. It would be connected to someplace else. Yeah, it will decode 4 channels. And what happens when I play a DVD? It gives you as a test run as a DVD of all the movies that were released on DVD. If you look at the back, it shows Dolby Digital. It is compatible with Dolby Digital, but it should still work with the SQ decoder, which is it's kind of a thing. If you look at the front channels, like there's talking, and the back of it was a music, and the rear end is just music, and just orchestrated musical scores or whatever that is that you can hear. You cannot hear dialogue in there. I have 4 additional speakers. I picked it up today. So as of this past spring, when I just bought 2 speakers, and it does work, and it works with additional with the SQ decoder. Yeah, that's because SQ is actually is one of the matrix that quadraphonic was part of a matrix, along with QS, what they call quadrasonic, and CD4, which is I think it's called compatible discrete 4, which you could say it's what they call CD4, that the one of 3 family of quad matrices that was using for this thing. And then there you go. A lot of these are great things. I've been making this since 2017. And I also made this video, a lot of these stuff. I've been working on all this stuff. I did more Chris Sings. I did a couple of other videos I've been doing. And then I was a little busy doing something else. And of course, there's also, my last day of work was the end of March. I know, it was my last day at my job. So I went to program around that time the following month. It was April. And I was wanted to do is take a walk around, and I was interested to go to some browsing into stores and all this kind of stuff. But until May 2017 was a pretty great year for me. I just picked up this thing. It's a monster. If you saw my video, is of me going to an antique stuff, and I found this thing, and I know I saw it when I first saw this thing. It's like in one of those pile of antique junk, everything in this thing right next door to my program. And what happened was, it was actually a nice, interesting. I was looking forward to get it, but what happened was, it's a Victrola. This is what the video I've been talking about. If you saw in my last video, if you go back a couple of months ago, I showed a demonstration of my old Victrola. If you see here, it's from 1926. And depending on what this thing and what year was made, it's between 1926 and 27. It was made by a company called Victor, what they call Victor Talking Machine Company. And yep, the Nipper logo is known for its product, you know. This was about that time when, years before, RCA purchased Victor in 1929. I know there's a lot of there's interesting history about the Victor Talking Machine Company. Yeah, it does have a lot of history, and goes back to the early days of 1901. You know, Victrola is the one I have not seen it before. It will play 78 records only. I tested out a lot of 78s after that. When I first got it, it was just, the motor was frozen. So I decided to, I did some little bit of cleaning. I did some, too much cleaning. I had done wasted toilet paper. Yeah, I had wasted too much paper towels. Yep, I know it's a paper towel. I always wasted on this thing to get rid of all that old traditional grease. Yeah, it was like hard to do so because it was hard as a rock. So I just decided to, I took them apart. I tried to do some little bit of cleaning. I used soap, I used water, I used a little bit of gloves to clean it all this nasty tar or all these gunky, all this stuff, all this motor stuff. It's kind of frozen for many decades. And of course I had to do some cleaning. I did if you saw a video on how to clean the motor or fixing the motor with the Victrola. But my Victrola also has a 4-spring motor. You know, that's the 4-spring motor and the governor. And so what you had to do is just this is just to be an easy restoration. And of course, as for the cabinet itself, the half of the veneer was off, so I don't have to worry about the veneer. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll have to find the matching veneer of this cabinet. Maybe we'll have to check either Home Depot or Lowe's if they have it on sale. Maybe we'll have to do one day, I'll get one. And then of course, everything is working great after repairing all the motor and the whole thing. It works terrifically fine. It works great, it works perfectly. So after a little test run, I tested all the 78 records, all my 78s, and I played them, and it sounds pretty stunning. If you know, it's like taking you back to way back in the decades of what we call the Roaring 20s, the early jazz, and the whole thing. It's like when you take you back to the 20s, when people don't have electricity, you have to do it's a wind-up control. You have to do is wind it up and turn it on, and then you're playing a record. That's what they did the old-fashioned way. You have to play this record because it will sound much better, or much because which is a non-fidelity sound, but it will play maybe a lot of these records. It could play all records like those. And I was very happy. It was worth a fortune because Victrola is actually one of the better ones because this weighs a monster. It weighs a ton. I mean, if you can tell, this is the model VV8-4, and this unit weighs a ton. It has a lot of storage space for your records, and it has a storage space for all the records, so we can store all the records in there. But then this is a very enjoyable console. It's a console. It's a combination of Grandetta and Granada. Credenza and Granada. It's all in one. And this is actually the model that was what I was talking about. And after that, I was trying to do is put some needle in, and it will sound like maybe, I thought we would play like maybe later than 1950s records. I know it's safe to play a later 50s record, but after doing some testing, it does sound almost like it's when you play a 50s record, like for example, 1,000 Miles Away by the Heartbeats. Really, really a best classic doo-wop tune of all time from the 50s. That was a great doo-wop love song a classic by Shep Shepherd and the Heartbeats. Yeah, played it on my Victrola. And that was that's a very great song. It was a doo-wop song, would play on a Victrola from the 20s. And I know it's a very interesting story about this. So I was very happy. as like I said, this Victrola is a monster. It weighs a ton. I mean, it weighs a ton, but this thing is really a monster. I mean, if you think this record player, it's like one of the biggest record player ever. If you think this Victrola is definitely is right up there with all other type of record players, this one is completely a monster. Yeah, it is a beast. If they don't know why, this is considered a Victrola by Victor is indeed a monster. So there you go. That's my little interesting success story about the Victrola that I happily got. That 2017 has been a great year for me. And I was very nice, but I'm glad if I finally got my Victrola and have it in my room. But this is definitely a better machine to use, but it's an easy way to use. So I got to be very extra careful if you want to play a 78 or something. You have to pay on how many plays do I use if it gets you kind of a decent amount of plays. When you play on their Victrola, it will have kind of a decent amount of plays, depending on what needle you're using. So at any rate, and then there's another subject that I've been talking about for this year. Went to a fireworks show up in Kingston. I did a video about it, and of course, looking at the stores right next to that place right there, they sell fireworks. These are consumer fireworks. It's what they have in stores like people are going to buy. I don't buy consumer fireworks. No way. I'm not interested in buying them. It's not right. It's right up there, but not really that great. It's blown itself up. The only thing you need to get is pops. Yeah, the poppers or party poppers or anything. That's it. Not just consumer fireworks stuff. And of course, May has been all. And then in addition to that, back on a Memorial Day weekend, 2017, I made a video about a huge record haul. Well, yes, I made a video about those. It took me so long to show records in my collection, and this is why I got. Because they're having a moving sale around that time, around there. They sell like records and stuff like that. Bought a huge amount of 45s and 78s. That was a humongous bargain. I always I bought for $10 when I picked it up. Yep, the 45s and 78s, everything. I bought everything because this would make me happy when I show this records, because these were all my records I have. Now we're going up to 1,045 records. There's possibly a 500, 600, or 745s. They're in my collection now. I think that's very much. I was enjoying collecting all these 45s. I always like to pick which song or an artist that I was just showing you. These were just a record haul, because that's more like that. The 78s and 45 record haul was the best thing I bought since May, when they were doing some sort of a sale, like people are going to be moving out. Yeah, like someone is moving away or something, moving to another home. And of course, that's just more like that, because it is a pretty good bargain, I guess. And then there's a whole bunch of these stuff. There's records and a lot of stuff. And of course, there's a couple of other ones. I was trying to make videos all about this thing, because what happened, it's between ups and downs, and what happens. Okay, before we're gonna do this, we lost a couple of other movie stars that came out back in July or August, I think. It was the death of June Foray, who's the voice of Rocky the Squirrel from Bullwinkle. He was voicing a lot of great cartoons over the years. June Foray has been best known for Granny in the Looney Tunes shorts. There's Rocky from Bullwinkle, and plus countless other great cartoon stuff that did over the years. June Foray has been one of the greatest voice actress ever, even compared to Mel Blanc, who was the original voice for Looney Tunes. But June Foray is also the other female, but the female voice actress. Wow, he does a lot of great work she was appeared in records, she was in cartoons, she was in records, she was in everything, everything in the entertainment world. Who remembers June Foray? Every cartoon fan will remember her as one of the greatest voice actresses of all time. And she's gone. And then happened in August. We lost another YouTuber named Emmer Prevost, better known as Helsing 920. And, he had an amazing run doing a series of movie reviews called Reaction and Review. He also did all the stuff that he did. He made a great work. He was a tremendous work, but, I always follow him. I always watched one of his videos on YouTube, and he was great. He was great. He was a terrific guy. I have not making a video since then. And then there was a problem. I was upset when after making the video, when I made a video about this, a lot of people are complaining. All the stuff that I was talking about, Emmer Prevost is going to take over his show. I'm taking over Reaction Review, but no, that got me shocked. I was shocked. I was very shocked about what was happening. And then a lot of people complaining. Yeah, a lot of users like this. I know if you want to see videos like this, you should check them out. But I see people on YouTube as making videos of all the stuff that he did, that he mentions me on my channel. Well, listen, it's all right, but I don't want to. I'm not going to criticize this people. This is like a lot of people are making us like trying to make cringy videos. I don't like getting argued about these cringy videos. Let me tell you, it's trying to entertain. It's entertainment. It's just to have fun. I know people are going to be starting to complain all about me and the whole thing. It's just, I don't like the way this video is supposed to be. This is definitely my ups and downs for me, and I know something went south, but I can't believe when they did. People are gonna complaining about me and my channel, but this is just gonna tell you, I'm trying to be cool, okay? I'm trying to do as long as I wanted, but I'm going to do videos as long as I wish. I've been using GoAnimate ever since like 5 years. I've been continuing to do so. I don't like grounded videos. I don't do grounded videos. Only for video games. Only for bad video games that will get grounded. That's a different story. But that's going to be for another time. That's for the video games. For probably like bad video games, but you can tell just bad video games for being grounded. Okay? Okay, I just want to say this. And I don't like I was putting fetish videos on there, but a lot of people don't like fetish videos. I don't do fetish stuff on these videos with this thing. I don't like it. Kyle didn't like fetish videos either. I don't like fetish videos. I was trying to put them private. I had to do re-editing the whole thing. So I had to go back and maybe one day after the holidays, I'm going to re-edit some of the videos. I was using it during the free trial because I ran out of it. So it's too late. So I had to redo it again and fix the issues and have a little bit of abbreviated editing. Okay, I just had to say, I'm not doing fetish videos again. I don't like these stuff. Okay? I'm trying to focus on the good stuff. I'm doing the good stuff. So I always like to do recreations of Kyle Rangel or Mitchie Beanson's videos or whatever. I always like to do recreations of other videos, other GoAnimate videos, to make it turn into a better version of the MTN Short series. And of course, in addition, why not put some video game music in there? Yeah, video game music is a good thing. I always love video games because growing up in the 8-bit era, the best music I like about it in the series is just games for the NES. I grew up with the NES. I grew up with video games. I played Super Mario Brothers. I played Section Z. I played a lot of endless amount of games. Castlevania, Gradius, or whatever that name. And then of course there's Section Z. That's a good game. Ghosts and Goblins. That's a hard game. And then there's also Mega Man, the Mega Man series. That would be great. And there's also lots of games I played it over the years. And that would be, yeah, the music sounds great when I've been watching Angry Video Game Nerd video episodes. I've been watching the AVGN's videos, and of course I know because the video game music was so great, was so cool, I would love to use that in one of my Go Animate videos or whatever, to put music with just 8-bit music in there. So what they did is actually put video game music in there because I used music from Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle for the NES. And why not put background music in there in one of those scenes? Yeah, like outdoors, you had to go outside. And the timeline, instead of putting stock scenes and Go Anime, I prefer scenes that were shot in my hometown, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. That was where this scene took place. With the family, with the friends of Shirley and Bojangles and his buddies, Wendy, John, Michael, and Peter Pan. Were also in there, and plus the rest of the gang, are in there. That was set in Brooklyn. That's because of the location that took place. And then that's a very different story for the 2017. I've been doing MTN Shorts for quite some months now. And there's also a couple of other videos I've been posting up over there. Yeah, and of course there's a couple of Super 8 videos, updates, and the whole thing. And I always did a recreation of the very first episode of The Price is Right, hosted by Bob Barker, since it first aired back in September 1972. And then this is kind of not, is it good, is it bad? I'm not sure. I did more Chris Sings episode. I did more video games on 4 o'clock game most of the time. There's also other stuff I've been making. To make me a busy guy, I have to say this. And in October, I recently got a Concord 220T reel-to-reel tape recorder. And it works great. It was a terrific bargain. I bought for $39 at the... since they went to since we moved from the iSale program from Catskill to Red Hook, when they opened a new one in there. I made a video of the grand opening of iSale since October. I was trying to make videos live during the Nightlife show. And it's right there. It's right in my alley. And also, I got rid of that Bell & Howell projector, and I also acquired the Singer Graphics 16 movie projector, model 1115. And this is much better threading than the other ones from the compared to the Bell & Howell ones, because the film would get crunchy or gets sprockets broken or whatever. It would break the film like pretty badly. So I don't use that much like that anymore, like the Bell & Howell Filmo Sound Specialist. I used to have one of these. I got rid of it. Since after I got rid of it, I replaced it with the Graphics by Singer. Yeah, it's a Graphics Graphics 16 millimeter movie projector, which is far superior to the Bell & Howell's. And it works like that, but the supply reel is actually kept spinning. It's not really that great. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but if I had to fix it up, or possibly we'll have to leave it as is until you have to remove the springs while running the film. That's a good idea. You have to do is unload the spring, and then you could put the springs back in and rewind. And that's kind of strange when you think this film is just... And yes, what happened when you start the film, when you start rolling the film unravels. Yeah, it spits and it unravels the film when it fell into the ground. What is going on? That's that's the one demonstration video that I was making that went up. Anyways, now I was happy with these projectors better than the Bell and Howells. And let's talk about the reel-to-reels. I picked it up October since I recently acquired it, and it works great. The reels work great, but it has a 1.78 inches per second speed. But it would record a lot of great stuff, old radio shows and the whole thing. It would record at 1.78 inches per second, which is a pretty good speed for the reel-to-reel deck. Yeah, it's a 2-track mono reel-to-reel tape recorder, and I don't know who made this thing. It was Concord. And I figure out the year was 1964. Yep, 1964. If you saw my last video, I've been talking about either 67 or 68, but it was 64. It was 1964. Same year Beatlemania came. The Beatles arrived in America. It was the same year Mary Poppins was released. And it's also the same year the Verrazano Bridge opened. And it's also the same year the New York World's Fair opened. All of them came out in 64, including this one is also from 64 as well. That's all I can say about that. It works perfectly, the buttons work, and then of course it sounds great after recording it. And it also came with the original instruction manual for it. And it looks interesting, but of course it gives you a step-by-step instructions on how to connect them. They did the old-fashioned way, but thanks to the world of iPhones or anything, you can connect it to your jack rather than connecting to the terminals. But that's kind of strange, and I don't know why this is happening. That's the old-fashioned way. It could cause electric shock or anything. So thanks to these RCA jacks, it's on the back. You have to plug it into my phone, into your radio input. And that's what it says, radio/aux input. That will work pretty well. So it records, it plays back, and it looks splendid for this machine. I was very happy to have that. And there's a couple of other things about 2017. The saddest part of 2017 was Hurricane Maria. Yeah, the hurricane season was kind of a worst thing that happened, the worst case scenario. There's one I remember, there was one, the most biggest disaster in hurricane history of 2017 was Hurricane Maria. It hit hard, it hit Puerto Rico really hard. I gotta tell you the whole story. I used to live in Puerto Rico with my parents since I was a kid. It brings back some lots of memories for me. After a 7 years stay in Puerto Rico, we used to live in PR for like 7 years. It was a warm weather, but it was a place for some hurricane stuff. You had to avoid any hurricanes or anything like that. And it's hurricanes are worse because these are weather-related disasters. And of course that struck really hard as part of a hurricane because Hurricane Maria was hit hard by Puerto Rico, and it was hit hard. Everything wiped out, and that was it. Everything is a mess. The towns are just broke down. You look at this, a lot of buildings are destroyed, many houses are destroyed, trees were destroyed, and all the power went out all in the dark. Every single time it went out in the dark. But that was the most tragic happening in weather history since the last thing was Hurricane Sandy 5 years ago. Maria was a disaster, which hit Puerto Rico, and I was devastated. But I know towns and buildings are just down. Man, that was a way they struck Puerto Rico, but it hit hard. Yeah, ever since Hurricane Hugo in 1989 was actually struck by a hurricane that was in Puerto Rico. And this is what I missed about this back years ago as like my childhood hobby. It was a childhood place to go live in a warm weather rather than a cold weather. And there was the palm trees and the whole thing. Man, that was a pretty good place to stay in Puerto Rico for 7 years. And so too bad it got hit by Hurricane Maria. Man, that was that. Yeah, there were like the four hurricanes. There's Jose, there's Irma. Yeah, they struck most of Florida and was hit mostly hard, especially my mother's house down who lived in Florida. It was not even that hit hard by Irma, but in a way. There's Harvey. Yeah, there was like Hurricane Harvey. That was hit by Texas. Man, that was a way disaster here. And also the big news of the day, and of course, just speaking of hurricanes, there's also 2017 has been probably a big news of the day was also for me is something like Disney buys 20th Century Fox, but that was like, yeah, there's a news that came out of nowhere. Disney is buying Fox. Well, what a deal! What an interesting move. But of course, Disney has been taking the direction of buying Fox. I know if you watch 9 to 5, if you've not seen it, yeah, it was a movie by Fox, but yeah, it's referencing Disney. You know, that Snow White thing. If you want to see 9 to 5, I go back to my child. When I was a kid, I only remember that scene from the movie 9 to 5. If you have not watched this scene, you should check that out. But the scenes with the one who makes coffee. If you want, it's made a more Snow White-esque scene, but if you want to see it, just check it out. But this was way before Disney bought Fox, because that's the way it does. $52 billion, that's when they just bought. They now own, Disney now owns Fox. At first it was Pixar, then there was Marvel, and now they're just going to Fox. I mean, well, that's an interesting move, back when they, and then, let's not forget Lucasfilm. Yeah, Lucasfilm's the home of Star Wars films, the franchise of the series. Now you got Pixar, you got Marvel, you got Lucasfilm, and now you buy Fox, and now you have to own 4 studios at the same time. And yep, now it's part of the Disney family. I think it's gonna end up in the Disney realm, along with some of the films from the 20th Century Fox library. Film and TV shows that are part of the library. And let's not forget Shirley Temple films. Those other stuff that would actually end up being in a Disney library, but in the Fox movie library. But if they end up, I wonder if all the Shirley Temple films that she did during her years at Fox, it would end up somewhere around possibly at Disney for it. So we'll have to see what's going on here. And of course, December, it was like I don't know. It's pretty much to say the least, but it's much the same. A lot of decorations and everything. I made a video about it. And of course, I had to make the last look at there because, well, I don't have time to say about the. Hey, I just had enough to say discussion. Well, we've been discussed for like probably under an hour, nearly 40 minutes. So we're going to stop this video right now on the Nightlife show, and that concludes part 1. And I'll be back another time. We'll do Santa Claus Returns to him, and we're going to give you a special thanks to our video here because we'll have to do this in just probably in the next video. So we're going to stop the video right now, and we'll be back. We'll be back for the next one. Will be Santa's Returns, giving shout-outs where Santa Claus will give them shout-outs. And we'll come back here to wrap things up of 2017. So stand by. We will give you a surprise for you.